Hello and thank you for joining me. This video is about my survival pouch. It's inspired by Lofty Wiseman's mention of the survival pouch in the SAS survival guide. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is a pouch. It's one of two that I own. I believe they're Eastern European military. It's a cotton material. I've treated it with the same wax that you'd put on a cotton coat to offer it some water repellency. It's actually date stamped inside 1956. But as I say, I've got a pair. I've got this one that's got that I call the survival pouch after Lofty Wiseman in the SAS handbook of 1986. He suggested that you use a small mess tin that's issued to the British Army and then put a number of items in there. I've tried to replicate that, but it's a little bit more of a modern take and it suits my needs, but the idea is the same. It supplements my Possibles pouch, which is another one of these that goes in my belt kit, or it could supplement a pocket survival kit, you know, in a tin in your pocket. It's something that I wouldn't open up or break into unless it was a real survival situation. It is not just extras to use on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, enough of me waffling, let's open it up. So there's a chem light in there with some paracord attached. Lofty suggests putting flares actually within the kit. Whilst you can get them in the UK, they're not that readily accessible. So I've got a chem light there with some paracord, so I can use it as a buzzsaw, which would be a method of signalling. He also mentions having a survival bag in the small mess tin. My mess tin is a small trangia. It's quite limited in size. So what I've done is I've got a Mylar bivvy bag. It's a olive green, obviously it's foil on the inside, and I've just backpacked it and put a bit of tape around it to compress it, just so that fits in the pouch a little bit easier. So the actual mess tin that I'm using is a trangia. It's either a 0.8 or a 0.9 litre. It's aluminium with a lid. It's about £8 delivered, so it's pretty cheap. I've just printed off a couple of rescue symbols onto the lid just to remind me should I need them. And the other thing I've done is the lid didn't have a handle on it, so when you're actually using it, if you're using the lid to get faster boil times, etc., it's a nightmare to get the lid off without burning yourself or throwing everything on the floor. So all I've done was just drilled a hole and then just pop riveted I think it's a picture hanging hook literally on there. It folds flat, doesn't get in the way, but then when it's in use it affords me a handle. So anyway, enough of my waffling, let's open it up. Lots of tape because it will probably burst open. Yeah! Okay, first out, these two pieces of metal. They're part of a titanium stove cum windscreen. It's normally 3 parts, it all clips together to create a nice big round circle for resting your pot on. With the 3 sections, it's too big. So I've just taken 2 sections, you can see I've used it, and they literally just slot together, just like that. And then the mess tin goes on top. So there's that. Weighs absolutely nothing, it being made of titanium, and it was literally about £6 I think on Amazon. There are 2 pouches of peanut butter, a brew kit courtesy of McDonald's, some coffees, I think there's 2 coffees in there, 2 tea bags, and a number of sugars. Four solid fuel tabs. These are actually compressed alcohol gel. So there's 4 of those. You can at a push, if you want to, actually use it as a hand sanitizer because of the alcohol in it. But one of those, I'd expect to only actually use half of one to make a cuppa. You don't need the whole lot. They're like jelly, so you can cut them in half to preserve your, or conserve, not preserve, conserve your fuel. So there's 4 of those, and that's Fire Dragon is the brand, which I believe is from BCB. Two stock tablets, just crumble them up, hot water, and then you've got a meaty hot drink. So a bit like the old Bovril cubes or the Oxo cubes. These are a supermarket brand. The Gerber Vice, it's not bad. I wouldn't want to do a lot with it, but obviously it's got pliers on there, it's got cutting edge. There's a normal blade on there and there's a serrated blade. They're both fairly sharp screwdrivers and that. But this is in addition to what I'd normally have. So on my belt kit, which with this would be a folding saw, would be my fixed blade. In my pocket will be my pocket knife. So this really is a redundancy. Some chocolate. A pepperami for your protein. Although these are found in the chilled section in supermarkets, if you actually read the packaging, it does not need to be refrigerated. So it's long term, it's good. The other thing that I like about it is if it's getting a bit near to the date and I think, oh, I'm not really going to eat that, it makes ideal fish bait. I've caught carp on this plenty of times. There's a little torch. This one's just an O-light. It takes a single AAA. The battery I've reversed in it to stop it going off. I've just put a bit of inner tube or Ranger band, if you want to be tactical, over it just to prevent it knocking in the tin. Yeah, stop rattle. Then there is a single AAA battery, which is a spare battery for the torch. Some Issue stormproof matches and a striker. A Diarrhea, which is basically rehydration powder. A few sweets, or as the Americans call them, I believe it'd just be hard candy. A couple of sheets of Write in the Rain and a pencil, and that is it. This is pretty much mirrors what Lofty suggests goes in the tin. As I say, it is for an emergency. It isn't something I'd be dipping in and out of, but it gives me a hot drink, some food, a little bit of protection from the elements, a container to boil water in, and it's nice and compact. And this would be in addition to my Possibles pouch, or if I'm not carrying that, my personal survival kit that would be in a tin in my pocket. So it's not a standalone, it is just part of another item of survival that dovetails to complete it. What I'll probably do at a later date is actually do a video on my belt kit, which would show the items that all go together to create my overall survival kit. Anyway, hopefully you found that useful. If you did, please click like and subscribe, and I'd love to see any of your comments. Have a great day. Cheers.